Hello, I wanted to introduce to you guys and also to leave this as part of my memories as a video journaling diary sort of thing. My travel watercolor collection and accessories. So I brought these with me when I was planning on traveling to Spain and Portugal during the Chinese New Year's. Unfortunately, tragic outbreak of the coronavirus has happened, and all flights has been no, not all flights, all tourism groups has been cancelled. So I had no choice but to come back immediately as soon as possible to my own home, which I'm grateful for that still happened because the roads have not been blocked off yet and flights have not been cancelled yet. So as of filming this, I hope that this will not happen. I hope the flights will not cancel, and I hope that we can get through this together as a nation and also as humankind. Okay, but let's get back to watercolor because I want to leave this video with nice memories. So these are the things that I pack with me for watercolor during my travels, and I've spent around 5 days in Beijing, and 4 days in Beijing and 3 days in a smaller town just an hour away from Beijing. That is my hometown. That's where most of my extended family are, and we spent Chinese New Year's together with my grandparents. And well, not my grandparent, my grandma, because my maternal grandfather has passed away a long time ago. Yeah, so it's my first time spending a Chinese New Year's, and I really liked it. It was a lot of fun, so many experiences and stories, and I've gotten many cultural shocks. The way they do things there in China is not the way that I was familiar with, but still it was a lot of fun experiences. Okay, but let's get back to watercoloring, which is the purpose of this video. So the first thing that I bought, that I contemplated on buying, was to bring with me is a small palette, because I want a palette that can fit in my purse, and several watercolor pens that I can take with me, like the refillable watercolor brushes with water attached in, filled in, when I'm on the go. So this is one of them. I brought the Odyssey from Prima Marketing because I bought many Prima Marketing watercolors, and they have wonderful small cases like these that I can take with me on the go. So I brought this, but they usually look like this, with this thing attached in, and this takes up a lot of space. So there's a bunch of space where I can fit in more colors, and over here too. I want to put more colors in on here. So I took this out and I squeezed many things in between. Okay. So I bought the Odyssey version because I thought it was very apt. Okay, so this is the colors that I bought with me. Sorry I didn't clean it, but based on this, you can tell what was the last thing that I painted. So this is the color swatches. That has happened. So these rows, this is the Odyssey color. I mainly bought the Odyssey set because of this. If you guys can see. Tokyo, Rome, Amsterdam, Maui, la 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 la. And then the last one is Calgary. Calgary is my hometown. Oh, I love it. So when I saw this, I was like, this one has Calgary in it. I must have it. So I was not really drawn by these colors, although they are very, very beautiful. But it's because of this. It has Calgary in it. So it's a watercolor that has my hometown within it. So I really gotta have it. And they picked some really popular cities, but at the same time, they also picked some lesser well-known, including Calgary. And what I didn't like is that they assigned white to Calgary, but I gotta say it's really fitting because Calgary is mostly shrouded in snow almost all the time throughout the year. So I really liked Calgary, but I can't have a white in my palette because it's just a waste of space. So because this palette does not have a cool yellow, so I replaced lemon yellow from my MG Studio palette in here. So maybe later I'll have to put it back, but yeah. So these are from the Odyssey collection. And I replaced Calgary with a yellow. Yeah, sorry Calgary. But it's okay, you are very sunny, so this is also fitting, okay? And this is, if we look at the color swatches, this is Dioxin Purple by Core. This is Opera Pink by Daniel Smith. These are from Paul Rubens because I want some shimmer colors. I added white, like a silver pearl, because I can add this shimmer to any one of these colors and they can make it into a colorful shimmer. Gold. And this is Pearling Violet by Core. I have to say, Core's colors are incredible. They are so diluting and spreadable. Maybe I'll do a demonstration later, but even when I'm mixing colors on the palette, I mix normal colors and then I touch my brush with Core and I put it into the water to mix and it just dilutes. It's like, it spreads like a flower. Yeah. So I don't know what formula they use. I'll have to check later, but Core colors are incredible. Maybe I'll get the full set or more colors by them. And this is my favorite shadow color, Vertiger Blue by Holbein, and Phthalo Turquoise by Daniel Smith, and this is Cobalt Teal by Amgram. Yeah. The reason I do this in English is not because I want to 装逼, okay? It's because 我不知道这些颜色怎么用中文说出来. It's because I can't say these colors in Chinese. My Chinese is fluent conversationally, but it is not adequate when it comes to professional linguistic jargon. Okay, so this is the color. This is the palette I used, and it has served me very well. I can paint some beautiful botanicals with it, some oceans, although the blues might be a bit lacking. There's only 3s, but I use this, and this for my base colors for oceans a lot. There's some greens, 2 greens. This is more of a turquoise, but it's okay. These 2 colors are really similar. I really didn't need to bring both of them, but this one has superior quality and this one was already in the set. I was like, okay. And this one is the cool yellow, lemon yellow. So I can mix this with any one of these to make beautiful colors. And Opera Pink was a must because Opera Pink brings me really bright and fluorescent colors in sunsets, on flower petals, just anything that I really need my paintings to pop. Later I will show you some of the paintings that I painted during my vacation. Yes, my vacation has gotten so boring that I painted a lot because of this damn coronavirus outbreak. So, and this is my traveling in-house studio palette, okay? So what do I say? Like, this is my palette to go, but this is the palette I use when I'm in the hotel, presumably, or if I am staying at my relatives. So I will just put this here. So I bought my black velvet brushes from 2 to 10. Martini brush, a liner brush, and a scrubbing brush that is not very expensive. It's just very cheap that I can scrub colors with. I will leave this here. Let's see if it's... Oh no, some of the colors are stuck. I didn't have time to let this dry fully. So I'll just leave this here for a moment, and you guys can see the studio palette I got. I just went to check on the stove. Okay, so this is the color swatch with the colors that I bought. So what I bought originally was the Winsor Newton set, the professional artist grade. So these are the colors here and here. I took out the white and I added the Holbein skin tone color because I feel this is much more useful, and I was right, yeah. Although I didn't use it this year. When I bought this, it was almost brand new. Some of the colors, most of the colors are protruding out. If you can see it, see, it's like extending out. I already had so much palettes, but the reason I bought this was that because I heard that Winsor Newton is really durable. If you want to paint a lot of watercolor paintings, you use this because it can give you a lot of colors and it won't go indented. You won't make a dent because of the formula. There's so much pigment and so much colors that you will not be able to finish them. But I proved them wrong. Ha ha ha. I made a heavy dent on here, here, some here. I flattened this. I practically demolished yellow ochre because I made it flat and I indented it. Just from a few paintings, like 3 or 4 paintings, not even that much. But these two colors are the one I use the most because they were great ocean colors. Oh, I gotta stop touching the paints. Indigo and Payne's Gray. Some Prussian blue. Okay, and these are the Daniel Smith colors. They're the duochrome colors, I think. You can't really tell if they're duochrome with the color swatch that I made here, but you can tell they're duochrome from... Let me find them. From this color swatch. These. So you can tell the separating colors behind the layers. This is just from one wash. Okay. I don't know if you can tell for sure. Maybe if I turn on the light. Is that better? Okay. Yeah. So these colors are these colors. I didn't really end up using them a lot because I was so afraid that I would run out of them. So I should have used some of them, but I was scared that I would run out because they were very expensive just for 2 millimeters. Just for 2 half pans, yeah. But I love them so much. So I use this when I'm at home, not when I'm on the go. At home, I'm as in like in the hotel or when I'm sitting down with a desk. I use this when I'm running around and on the bus or when I'm standing and looking at the scenery. Yeah, I didn't clean my palette. Ah well. I gotta say that Winsor Newton performed better than I expected, because I'm used to using Amgram and I haven't gotten around to using other colors yet, but Winsor Newton has been wonderful. This is my brush collection, which I already showed you. This is my Martini leather case, which I bought this purely out of vanity, but I'm so grateful that I have this, because this is really tight and it can compress all my watercolor stuff together, and also it's so silky smooth and soft. Okay, now here, these are the 2 watercolor pads that I brought with me. I brought 2. I knew that I needed 2, because when I'm painting and when I'm in the zone, I need to have 2, because after I lay down the wash for 1, I want to keep painting, so I get started on another painting while this one dries. So it's much better if I have 2. So in the future, I will always bring 2, because with 1, I don't have the patience to wait for the painting to dry, because it takes so much longer and I hate it. I hate it when I have to wait for it, so I'll get started on a second painting. So let me see all the paintings. Arches is naturally smaller than Leyton. Let me just introduce these 2 products. These are different watercolor papers. I love Leyton because I think it is the most, you get the most run of your money for Leyton, because it really is very good. But Arches is unbeatable. It's irrefutable that this is the best watercolor paper out there. Of course, it is also very expensive. It comes to around $1 a page if you can get it cheap. If you can't, then it's probably $1.5 or $2 a page in Canadian dollars. But this is the holy grail of watercolor paper. When I bought it, I was very hesitant, because I was like, oh, should I spend so much? But it turns out the decision was excellent, because I use Arches a lot, and when I paint on it, it glides so smoothly like butter, right? I still need to get adjusted to using Arches, but I love it. This is also something that I love. For a cheaper price, this comes to about $0.2 a page, 0.3, like 30 cents a page, or 20 cents a page, 25 cents a page. This is excellent for $1/4 a page. They used to have really crappy paper, but then they changed their formula, Leyton, and it comes to a wonderful quality of paper that I adore. I use this to practice with, and it has really helped me a lot. The paints and the paper you use does not magically accelerate your skill. However, if you use good quality paper and paints, it helps you much more to expedite your watercolor journey and your skill. But if you use crappy watercolor paints and paper, then you have to adjust to them, and you're wasting your time, in my opinion, to mix colors and to paint over washes again and again, and you have to make accommodations for your materials instead of your materials helping you to develop the colors and the images that you want. So I really recommend that even as a beginner, get the best quality of paints and paper as you can, and brushes. Yeah, no one can forget that. Get the best quality of paper, paints, and brushes as you can. Okay, the best. Within your budget, of course, because no one wants to go broke over painting. Although I may be the exception to that rule because I bought way too much supplies and materials. Okay, so let me show you the paints that I painted using these and this. First of all, let's do Leyton. There's many paints that I painted simultaneously. Why can't I speak? I'm so nervous. Okay. So I painted this. This is cherry blossom flowers. I mostly follow Maria Rezek watercolor tutorials on YouTube. And the colors that she painted, the flower that she painted is wildly different from me. Like, I try my best, guys, okay? I try my best. So I wish I filmed the process, but because I was overseas and I don't have my materials with me, I couldn't, but this was it. There's several flaws with this painting. For example, the edges, they're very uneven, whereas Maria's, the edges, they're excellent. I don't know why I can't paint uneven edges, and then there's stains all around. So if anyone can help me with that, I would greatly appreciate it, because the water seems to be dried before I could line the edges as professionally as possible, as carefully as possible. So I may have to go back in and touch up these, but I'll have to practice more, I guess. And this is the painting of the ocean, also by Maria Waves. So I painted this in conjunction with this. I painted these two oceanscapes together. Let me see if I can fit both of them in. Yeah, can you see both of them? Ah, well. Because I layered down the colors for this, and I can't wait anymore. I have to paint more, but I have to wait for it to dry. So I laid down the layers for this. There's several flaws within it. For example, these doesn't look like waves at all. These are way too casual, but I'll have to practice more. And also the splatters, they're unprofessional, but I didn't bring my professional splatters things with me. Also, I think this is too monochrome. I painted all this as part of the wave, but real waves doesn't look like that. Yes, there's white here, which I think is good, but then there should be some discrepancies over here. Next time I paint this photo, I will put more closer attention to that. But these two paintings I'm really happy with, but I messed up over here, so let's just ignore that. Yeah. I'm really glad that there's some opera painting here, which makes the ocean much more colorful. This is just some exercise I did for Chinese New Year's. I didn't end up finishing this, but yeah, I don't think I will finish it. There's some. Maybe I'll use the back of this paper. Yeah. I usually use both sides of watercolor paper because watercolor paper can get so expensive. But it's fine. It's just for practice. None of these I will use to hang up on the walls. So I tried to paint a foggy mountain. I don't know if you can see that this is a foggy mountain. I tried to add some trees on the end. And then I failed over here and over here, because this is an excellent exercise in controlling your water usage in watercolor paper. So I'm still learning. That's why there's all these weird places. So immediately after I did this one, I was like, oh, I gotta practice more. So I did this one. So I try my best. This is my second foggy mountain painting. I messed up here, some here, some here. Like, what the heck is this? Like, this is foggy, 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 nice, nice, nice. And then what? A layer of dark clouds rolled in from over the hills and appeared here. The ominous presence of evil lurks beneath the mountains. But either ways, fine. I tried to use my scrubby brush to get the scrub out, but I couldn't, so that's pretty sad. But this, I did that. Okay, so these are all the colors I did over the past 7 days, or 7 days, maybe 9 days of vacation. Let's see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 paintings over 9 days when I was on vacation. I think it's pretty good, but this also proves that I cannot live without watercolors. I cannot live without painting anymore, because just going away for 2 or 3 days a week is too long of a time without watercolor paints. And also, I always bring watercolor paints with me, even when I'm going out to coffee in Starbucks or with friends, because I think of this more of like a protection charm. Like, this protects me, this makes me happy. When I was going through my backpack and I see this in my backpack, it makes me very, very happy. And I bring this out when I have the time and when it's appropriate, but yeah. So this is it.